Hello everyone, it's Tuesday on Your View. Welcome to the show. I am Morayo Afolabi Brown. As always, I have the ladies with me. Hello ladies. Hi. How y'all doing?
I'm great.
What's up with you? I'm seeing you for the first time this week.
Yes.
How was your weekend?
My weekend was good. So on Friday, we decided to do a staycation. And you know what that means? Staycation. Where you go to a hotel and leave your kids and spend time together. So I did that with Oga on Saturday. I'll come back to that quickly. So on that was on Friday. Then on Saturday, I had this integrity hangout with a group of young men and women who decided to, make integrity their path they want to walk through, see how we can help to curb corruption in the nation. It was a good time. My husband was there as an escort. He was taking all the pictures. So back to the staycation. When we didn't have as much as we had now, when we're still starting life, we used to make out time that every month we go to the hotel alone and just spend time together so we can bond and share. But now that everybody's pursuing goals, I just realized that we started growing apart. Right. Somehow, it was subtle, but it was there. Right. So we had this Friday and then we had to talk. Nice. And I felt like I say, Oga, you have to find the money. We have to do this every month. Cool. We need to work together.
Yeah, how you doing?
I'm good. I have good news to share. I'll share later. Yes, I'll share it later. But then I met one of our fans yesterday, Brume. Hey, Brume. The love was like everywhere. I was hugged, kissed, everything, carried, lifted, celebrated.
Wow, that's nice.
And it was really nice. Thank you, Brume, for the love, and she loves all of you as well.
Hello, Brume. God bless you.
We're getting ready for the celebrations. Tomorrow is the debate, which starts the week.
Wednesday.
And then Monday, the symposium before the judging.
Yeah, Mariam.
Celebration. Today is my stepdaughter's birthday. Her name is Temi. Yeah, so I'm really happy for her, that she's added another year, and I hope that God blesses her. She's a wonderful daughter. It's weird to call her. She's
like a grandma.
Yeah, so I'm like a grandma, and I've always wanted to be a grandma. I've always wanted to be a young grandma. I used to say, people used to think it was weird, and somehow I think she has made it possible for me. Yes, so.
I really admire your relationship with your husband and the whole family, because there are lots of people that have this kind of families. They're not being able to be happy, maintain happiness and that sanity.
Yeah, and I give kudos to my husband, the mother of his older children. Okay. Everybody had to put their hands together to make this work, and
well done.
They're well behaved, all of them, and she loves her younger siblings, so it's perfect for me. Yeah.
Well, I'm cool. I'm doing very well, even if you don't ask me. I'm doing very well. I'm just trying to put that work-life balance together. I'm getting busier now that I'm active 9 to 5. So things are getting quite busy, but I'm excited because people expect so much of me. I'm not starting a business and people are thinking I'm going to be growing the baby steps. No. They expect me to already know. So from day one, like you're already doing big stuff, and it's really interesting. But I'm thankful to God. God is amazing.
You'll be all right.
Okay, we're going to go on a break. When we come back, we'll go through the front pages of the newspaper. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Right, we're going to start with The Nation. Way Out of Economic Crisis by Dangote, Sanusi, others. $9.6 billion judgment. CCB gets petition against ex-CJN. Man steals baby as mom dozes in Ogun. Unilag probes Randy lecturer. Picture here of World Day for Decent Work. Invest in care for gender equality. Okay, let's start with who has the baby story?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, go ahead.
So the police in Ogun State picked up a man, Olakunle Agbaje, who stole a 2-month-old baby. And this happened in the Mowe area. So he said the mother was slept off while breastfeeding the baby, and then he snuck into the room, carried the child. He was tiptoeing out when the mother woke up and raised an alarm. And so he was caught. The police has picked him up. Investigations are ongoing. He said, he said he didn't know what pushed him into stealing the baby. They never know.
The other story that came out, I'll come to the other story concerning the, remember, I'm quite interested in the $9.6 billion issue that have the PNID. And gradually, the Code of Conduct Bureau has sent a petition. Former Chief Justice of Nigeria, Chief Alpha Belgore, and they're charging him with they're saying that he testified against Nigeria.
Yeah.
And he was our former CJN.
Yes,
and there was conflict of interest. So he's being now brought to be investigated on why he could actually testify against our country. That it's in the nation. So it's something I really am interested in how, because we know that there was no way P&I did it alone. They had insiders who supported them. So there's always either a cartel, a ring of people who actually planned this major judgment. Yeah, so I'm really excited about this. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, the picture story. We have the...
I was going to take it in Vanguard.
Yes, let's take that in Vanguard, but let me take the major headline. Okay. So there's the meeting, the Nigerian Economic Summit, the 25th edition, and the president met with like economists, bankers and industrialists, and they were there to just give us advice on the way forward. So the president is asking them to help us prefer solutions for our economy. Dangote was there as well, and he gave some of his advice. Included, first of all, he says our manufacturing sector is not really doing much right now. We only sort of contribute about 9%. Right. Compared to other countries that do like 30%, that if we really want an economic turnaround, we have to reverse those numbers. He also said that we need to decongest ports, we need to expand rail network, we need to have a gas master plan and implement it.
Tell us something we don't know. Let me tell us something we don't already know. These are things we already every day.
The president was in attendance, and he also said some things there. He said that, we make the mistake of comparing prosperity to wealth. And he described what wealth is, but said now that there's a deliberate intention of the government to grow prosperous Nigerians and, bring people out of poverty, which is prosperous. And this is not verbatim. I wish I could take verbatim.
Okay,
so wealth is when you do the numbers are increasing money, but prosperous Nigerians are people who are doing well and comfortably in their fields. So
let's move on to the Punch. Governors confirm crisis in APC and threaten showdown in states. Customs seized vehicles, kill Ogun students and injures others. Akeredolu sacks aide for congratulating deputy's governor's wife. Unilag Foursquare suspends senior lecturer over sex for admission video. Sanusi's problems arising from his unpopular opinion, says Kuka. $11 million fraud. Court orders Invictus Obi's $280 million forfeited. Why I built church mosque at the OOPL, says Obasanjo. Governors stop overseas parties because of EFCC, says Magu. Security beef up as Buhari presents budget today. Customs continue the raid, shot 272 car marts, and governors pull 100 cars for Southwest Security Patrol. Okay, what story are we taking?
Invictus? Okay.
Invictus Obi?
It's just a feature.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe like some office gossip. Okay, take the human interest.
Ogun custom officer who killed 2 students returning from school. So a custom officer somewhere in Ikpokia local government in Ogun State had seized a smuggling vehicle. And while he was driving it, the vehicle failed and he killed 82 victims of Ojomu Community High School who were walking back home from school, and he killed those students. There was going to be, of course, a mob attacking him, but fortunately the police stepped in and he was copped.
Yeah, all right, why did Governor Ondo sack?
Yeah, so it's really... So his, what do you call it? His specialist assistant on political matters, Augustine Pelemo, has been sacked because he, on Sunday, congratulated the deputy governor's wife on her birthday and then said she's the acting first lady of Ondo State.
Ooh, he said that.
I don't know why he wrote it on her Facebook or whatever.
Lord.
So they have told him, thank you for your hard work, and we wish you, we wish you,
what kind of
the best in your future endeavors.
Enemies chasing him?
No, when you overdo eye service. When you overdo eye service, you want to over high.
His family, they chase you.
After you, nobody else. After you, now you.
Maybe he thought they would not see it because it was a Facebook comment. So people are saying that.
Mr. H,
you should be careful.
Moving on to Vanguard.
After you, now you.
Few people in 5 states FCT own Nigeria's wealth, says Buhari. Sanwo-Olu honors DPO for using personal resources to save robbery victims' life. Obaseki Oshomole's face-off split APC National Assembly leadership. Why we won't release asset declarations of Buhari and Osinbajo. Foursquare asked Unilag lecturer to step down. Nigeria's population is liability, says Emir Sanusi. Sanwo-Olu our governor of Lagos State.
So this DPO, Mrs. Celestine Kalu of Ogudu Police Station, has been honored by our governor for her selfless act. They said on the 19th of September, an orphan, his name is Friday Ajabo, he was shot by armed robbers. They were the MK Abiola Paki and his friends, and they were waylaid by these people. And 30 minutes after the police got to the scene, luckily for them, they took him to 2 hospitals where he was rejected. And this Mrs. Celestine made sure he got to the hospital, Lasut and ICU. And for all his medical costs and everything, she took that up personally. So the governor is really proud of her and says that this is, he said something, he says this is the essence of public service and the true spirit of Lagosians. And he's asking us to emulate her.
All right.
So well done. Yes.
Major headline. The president is saying that few people in 5 states own all the Nigerians. So who has that story? The major headline.
It's the same story we took in the nation. So the president in his reply was addressing the same set of people who were advising the Aliko Dangotes, the Ibuku Awoshikas, all of them, the $10, everybody that were seated at the economic summit, saying that all the wealth of Nigeria is divided among people from major, like 4 states or 5 states and the FCT in Nigeria, and that, you know, was addressing them, saying, of course, prosperity means a balance of wealth.
Let's move on to the Nigerian Tribune. Minimum wage. I know Gaji is always interested in minimum wages. All categories of workers must be paid by end of October, says Labour. National outcry over union access for Mark scandal. Ogun raises 1 billion to fight insecurity. Buhari presents 10.7 trillion naira 2020 budget. Wow, the budget still keeps increasing. Few people in 5 states holding Nigeria's wealth, Buhari laments. Let's take the major headline, then we'll take the Unilag story.
Yes, so just as the headline mentioned that Labour has said that all workers must be paid by the end of this month and negotiations should stop. They also celebrated World Day for Dissent rally that was organized in Abuja. And in Lagos State, workers made a peaceful protest to the Lagos State Assembly saying that they don't want 30,000 naira again. They now want 50,000 naira minimum wage. But my worry, Lagos is a special city. It's different.
They can afford it.
Yes, it's more expensive here, transportation, housing, and they are making it so they should be able to give them.
You see, and I think we should make this a hot topic because, listen, this deadlock that we're going with Labour federal government conversation, they've all agreed that level 1 to 7 take your 30,000 naira, right? The issue now is from 7 to 17. Now my problem is that why are we fighting for 7 to 17? For now, we're all sacrificing. Like, listen, those ones that are earning 20,000, 15,000, they're the ones that must benefit from this new minimum wage. But those of you already in the 100,000, should at least, that's not sacrifice for now. I don't know why they're insisting on this 30% increment.
Yes, but you won't blame them because they see that the leaders are not sacrificing as well.
I agree on
so
that.
If you want them to,
but then you can't just
everybody
start
has to.
trouble. So this group of people who think that Lagos State is now special state and refuse to join voice with the Lagos East. Is it Lagos East or Lagos West senatorial representative when she was asking for special status for the state? This same NLC always they don't do the right thing when they should.
Let's talk about this section, Max, because we're running out of time.
Bad roads and everything, they're not calling on companies.
BBC has, in fact, I don't even want to talk about this.
They opened the foul bomb and we have seen
We've always known this thing.
Exactly.
I mean, we've always known
it's always
happened.
exists.
So this is not
But sometimes I say you need the extra evidence just to hold somebody because we know it happens, but we're not able to hold anybody. So now with BBC's expose, we can now say Mr. A, Mr. B did this.
I think the willingness is not there for us to act because this has been happening over and over. We just sit down and wait for a foreign body to come and tell us our problem. And right now, they've not even picked him up. He has not been arrested yet.
No, well, it's not a criminal offense. Is it? It's not a criminal offense. Wait, let me be clear.
It's a serious
I thought it was an issue of a code of conduct, not so much of a criminality.
No.
Is it?
There's criminal angles to this very wide enough to lock him up for life for a long time.
That's if she's a minor.
They've not been picked.
She was 17.
She was supposed to be a minor. This is an undercover investigation.
Yeah, but
and also
he is now in Lagos is 17.
So he is now playing the victim at some point, saying that was set up and all that. This kind of case happened in Lasso just last year, I think, or 2017, when an undercover like that was blown.
We're going to talk about it a bit more. I don't want us to talk about the other angles because it's obviously it just broke like yesterday. So it's still brewing. People are talking. Different angles are coming up. The churches have actually asked them to step down.
Yes,
the school also, I think they've also
washed their hands off.
Said that they've closed the cold room. So we're still waiting for the story to brew a bit more, and we'll talk about it extensively in the next couple of days. Let's take our final paper, which is Daily Sun. We might not be able to take any major stories. Nigeria's poverty situation worsens. 2023, Igbo leaders shop for presidential candidates. Please do. We would like to see somebody. Sex or grade, we talked about that already. Governors now afraid of organizing flamboyant parties, says Magu. Daily Trust. Few people in 5 states control Nigeria's wealth. Buhari says that. Osun court remands Kingmaker, others in prison. Nigerians disagree with Okorocha, wants pay cuts for senators and reps. And governors now afraid of attending flashy parties. Please, let's take that story in 5 seconds. Who took that story of no governors afraid?
EFCC, the acting chairman of EFCC, saying that governors, saying that governors are now afraid of attending flashy parties. They don't show themselves anymore as, as per spraying money. They're hiding themselves, and that corruption is not as it used to be, that EFCC is all out to arrest anybody who is found wanting. Even the Yahoo boys are having a hard time.
So they're just saying that these governors know that the EFCs are the eyes and the ears. So if they see them misbehave a little, they will clamp down on them.
Well, this is real. All right, we're going to go on a break. I know a lot of people really wanted us to discuss these, the BBC expose on sex and market. It's something that is worth talking about. There's so many angles to discuss, but we'll just give it a few more days and then get as many angles as possible and then talk about it extensively. Let's go on a break. When we come back, we'll talk about other top stories. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Thanks for staying with us. So Ekiti State government has proposed life imprisonment for anyone found guilty of rape in their state. Do you agree with this? Do you think it's a bit much, it's too harsh? We have with us on the phone the special advisor on gender to Ekiti State government, Mrs. Sheyi Ojo. Good morning, madam. Are you there?
Yeah, good morning. I'm here.
Yes, thanks for joining us on the show. Okay, so for our viewers, you can call us on 07080668014. You can also tweet to us at TVC Connect. Please hashtag YourViewTVC so we can read your tweets. All right, madam, this bill was proposed recently. I think it was on Thursday. It went to the House of Assembly. The objective was to get a more stringent measure for those who are found guilty or of rape in your state. Why was this necessary?
Well, if we look at the criminal code of Ekiti State, we find out that the sentence for rape is actually life imprisonment. And when we are talking about the gender-based violence prohibition law of 2011, which provided for 14 years imprisonment, we felt that was not enough, seeing that this punishment had not served as a deterrent. We looked at the VAP Act, the Violence Against Persons Act of the Federal Capital Territory, and we saw that more stringent punishment was prescribed under that law. And we felt we have a very beautiful gender-based violence law, which has other provisions that the VAP Act does not have. And why not improve our GBV law and make it stronger and better? So that is why we are actually having that.
Okay, let me put you
a strong deterrent. And this time around, we are actually including the gender court.
Okay.
We are introducing the gender court.
Gender court, okay.
It means that the gender court will be a court that will run gender-based violence cases.
Okay.
And it will hasten this case, instead of these cases lying in the usual court where we have other criminal matters.
Let me pause you for a quick second.
All that.
Okay, ma. Do you think that this will deter people enough? Because I've seen people who go for life imprisonment, and I've been to the prisons. I know that they still have a life, in as much as their freedom has been taken away, but they have a life. They have opportunities to learn trades, to change. Some of them give their lives to Christ. Do you think secluding someone for the rest of their life is enough to deter people who are perpetrators out there? or we should still go for more stringent measures?
Like castration.
Yes, like castration.
Yeah, we are actually considering, we are tinkering with the idea of castration. We are still on it.
Okay.
We are looking at that seriously, and we may include that in that bill because our people are clamoring for that.
Okay.
We believe that, yes, in as much as it should serve as a deterrent, and the people who are in prison actually have a life. But we believe that if someone is in prison for life, at least it will save another victim of it from his evil act.
All right. All right.
Based on my experience, it's obvious that it's not just the sentencing that we need to curb rape. What is most important is to gather enough evidence, because it's the most difficult crime to establish in court, the way I see it. Once you miss the evidence to link the crime to the perpetrator, that's it. The victim just goes for life injured without any help. What measures are you putting in place? Is there going to be a special sexual offenders court, special sexual offenders record, or another, or a rape kit promoted around the state to curb this, so that we can gather evidence and at least have prosecution, so that we can have people to sentence properly?
All right. Interestingly, like I said earlier, we have in that bill, we are proposing the gender-based GBV court. We also have a sexual response unit in that bill. We also have the sex offender register, which Ekiti State is the first state to have that in Nigeria. We have that where if you commit an offense of rape or attempted rape, your name will go into that register. We intend to publish that register online as time goes on. And the name and shame thing is also on. We insist that we will name and shame whoever is convicted of any sex offenses.
Okay.
So we believe that that's also, bringing shame to the perpetrators, to the convict. And it's not only for the convict, it's for the family too.
Right.
We are calling their attention, we are refreshing the memory of the public to that person, and we are calling the attention of his family to it.
Okay.
So we believe that should serve as a deterrent.
Okay, let me get in a few more questions. Yes.
Yeah, so for what you're doing with punishment, I think for me it's quite commendable. Well done. So that means Ekiti State has sort of caught up with Lagos State in that regard. But I also know that for certain, some of these things, especially when it comes to defilement of children, it seems to be like a cultural thing, the way we handle it, which is you can have people just sit down as families and say, oh, forget about this, let's settle it. As the essay on gender, what else are you doing apart from punishment? What are the seminars or talks or one-on-one with family members? How else to change mindsets, really? Okay.
More than ever before, we are looking at the victim, the side of the victim. We are taking care of our victims right now as I speak. We have victims who are seeing counselors. We have a victim compensation. There are some little girls that were raped, and some got pregnant. The state is seeing to it that the pregnancy does not stop them from going to school. Also, you talked about the issue of a little girl is raped and the family members sit down somewhere and probably somebody comes to apologize. In that law, we also have beg and go to jail. If somebody rapes a child or rapes anybody, and the family members, the community comes to beg, we have a provision for 2 years imprisonment for those who come to beg on behalf of the victim.
Good.
So we have tried to make the law all encompassing.
Right. I have to say that this is a rather bold move from your government, and lots of other states would like to actually replicate this, but they find it difficult because there's a lot of opposition within the House of Assembly, so the patriarchal society, everybody feels like, what's the big deal? Let family handle it. So I'd like to ask you, how did you manage the opposition? Did you even have any opposition in Ekiti State at all? And if you did, were you able to manage it such that you can come to the point where this is almost becoming a law?
Yeah, well, we have a lot of opposition, and we also have people who don't understand what we are even doing. We are getting to that. But I want to inform you that tomorrow is the public hearing for that bill. And we have tried to mobilize as much as 2,000 women and NGOs to go with us to that house to push for that bill, to seek support for that bill.
Okay.
So that is where we are. We know that there are oppositions. We are expecting oppositions. But we believe that we'll scale through.
Okay.
Because we also intend to educate and do mass advocacy after this bill pushes through.
Thank you so much for joining us on the show. I think we really appreciate it. What you've done is commendable, and we just hope people come out to support it, because I know it's not easy. Many states would like to do the same thing, but there's always an issue of, is that what the people really want? But I'm happy he's taking the bull by the horn and doing this, and we hope we have success and wish you success in this activity. Let's go on a break now. When we come back, we have other hot topics. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Thanks for staying with us. So Minister of Labour and Employment, Chris Ngige, allegedly said that the demand of labour over the implementation of the new minimum wage could cost the federal government 580 billion naira annually. As a result of this, the government may have to lay off some workers so that they can meet their demands. Now, obviously, this is pressure on the part of Labour. I'd like to hear your thoughts on this, because they're saying that if they're going to have to incur additional 580 billion on the recurrent expenditure, that's going to weigh on the entire budget. So let's call us on 070-806-6814. You can also tweet us at TVC Connect. Please hashtag YourViewTVC so we can read your tweets. We'd like to hear your thoughts on this, because he's suggesting that if they are being forced to implement it exactly as it is, they might have to lay off some workers. And I'd like to come to the ladies on this. When you heard this, what are your thoughts on this?
Well, I thought, okay, maybe he's talking about laying off more senators, laying off more, people that really get a chunk of the money that don't seem to give in so much. So if he's talking about that, that would make sense to me. And cut down salaries of those who are earning so much salaries as well as bonuses. If that is what he's talking, if that is the arm he's talking about, it makes sense, because already we have a huge unemployment percentage. So there's so many people out of work anyways, and to take from that same group of people, and put them, that would just be...
Let me talk up on that, because we keep saying that they need to reduce their own cost on their own part first. But I keep saying to myself, okay, if they reduce it, how much of savings are we going to make?
A lot.
Is it enough? I mean, we always make these assumptions, but we don't have the exact figures. Do we know a lot? What is a lot? Define a lot. We don't have the figures. We just make all these comments and think like, oh, the moment senators, we reduce them to 1 per state, reduce their feeding allowances, reduce their extra costs, suddenly our budget, we'll be able to fund our budget and we'll be able to build roads. I don't see how that happens.
Do you have an idea of all the unnecessary aids? Secretary to this, PAMSEC to this, PAMSEC to this, senior secretary to this one. See all the numerous aides that they have on their payroll. Do you have an idea of how much bonuses that they get in? Hold on. We have been saying now that Abacha loot, they've been recovering it. What has been happening to the money? We're still borrowing. So I think we need to call ourselves to order. We need to, put our priorities first. Who are we working for in the country? Are we serving the people we are supposed to be serving, or we are working towards our interests? Because if there is a will, there is a way. If you say, okay, let us cut down on the cost of governance, there is no country I know today that spends as much as Nigeria, that is even a poor country, to service their governance. Okay. So we need to look into cutting down cost of governance. Okay. Then let's see if the money will not be enough.
But you see, I always worry when we have these conversations. Because anytime people talk about the fact that the government doesn't have enough money, Labour will say, it's a lie, they have money. How much does the government really have? Nobody will tell us.
I believe they have money.
So we all believe they have the money. Nima, let me come to you. I mean, do you trust when the government is saying, we can't afford this?
Okay. Yes, at some point I have to believe that they cannot afford it. We had this debate, we've had it before the elections up to date. Governors screaming at the top of their lungs that they cannot afford 30,000 minimum wage. They did everything. Governor Yari headed Governors Forum at the time, speaking for them, saying they couldn't afford to pay. So we know that the demands of labor will at some point cost them something. Number one is costing them the increase in the VAT, increase in several other taxes, finding backdoor ways to collect back what they're giving to them, and certainly it will get to retrenchment. It will.
We can't escape it.
Fact. So Ngige is saying what we all know, it will get there. Labor is the ones who are not facing the issue the way they should. That's the way I see it. So labor is beyond every 4 years screaming 30 increase in minimum wage. That's beyond what labor is for. Labor should also be demanding that, you know, our manufacturing companies and other businesses are flying. Labor should be making sure, you know, they check all these capitalist measures that are crippling our economy today. Labor should be ensuring that, you know, an average Nigerian is dignified in his job, that there's dignity in labor, even whether you're a casual worker with any factory or not. That's beyond what labor is focusing on now is what government will do, what government will pay, what government will pay. Labor is
there's so much more than that. Let me take this call from
confused. That's the way I see
Let me take this call from Olayinka. Olayinka, are you there?
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning. Thanks for calling. Go ahead, please.
Morayo, good morning.
Morning.
I like your topic, but the problem of your co-workers there, they are only how much the budget of National Assembly. I'm not supporting their money they are collecting, 120 billion a year. We are talking about 500 billion in addition to budget. Why these laborers are not talking about their children will get jobs? Some of them have 3, 4 children graduates at home. Why are they after increment of their salary? Why can't they inform the government to increase the workforce so that their children can get jobs instead of increasing their own salary all the time? If you use 500 billion to employ people, you know how many millions of Nigerian graduates will give the government their business.
Mr. Laika, with the present situation, if we increase workforce, we will be able to pay.
Exactly.
Or do you want them to continue to pay the undignified amount of money that, you know, an average Nigerian cannot take to the market in a week?
Less than
$1. Including the senators, House of Rep, the age. All these days you are talking about. Hello, ma'am.
Yeah.
Can hear you.
All these days you are mentioning some of the age. These conditions are not using the name age. Some of the age are getting 30,000, 40,000. And they are Nigeria too. They are not the foreigners. So you cannot say these people are Nigerians supposed to get a living. So forget about age or no age. We are talking about is additional 500 billion to a budget in a year. I don't know how you people go to we are afraid there's no road in Lagos.
Okay.
No road.
All right, point taken. Okay, so I mean, I still worry that we keep on making demands of labor to fight for us, but it seems that we're not willing to make our own sacrifice. And I understand that the argument of sacrifice first before I sacrifice.
Yes.
I get that.
Sacrifice together. Morayo, people are suffering out there. The average
so let me I'll come to you,
okay.
You are right. People are suffering. And that's why the government has agreed that level 1 to 6 should have the effective, should start. Those of you who seem to be at least somewhat okay, for now, accept 9% increment. But we're saying no. On what basis? So the thing is that we must be considerate. The truth is that the real conversation is that the governors have not been profitable within their states. Yes, their revenue has been poor. Yeah. Many of the states they're not self-generating. Yeah. So that's the real issue. Now take the battle to your governors. Not doing the work, not to make it look as if, it's a federal government issue.
Yeah. The problem I see there is the lack of trust. Because they've agreed that they were going to give from grade level 1 to 6. They will settle those ones first. And then from 7 to 17, this is the little we can just add, just a shift in what you're getting already. Bear with us. But there's no trust that they will come back to review it. That's what's happening. And when these workers, they are the civil service, they are the power in the country.
Statutorily, every 5 years, supposed to review.
When did they review last? Yeah. That's the thing. So there's no trust that the government, if they abandon us now, that is it.
Okay, let me take this call from, I'll come to you, Nima. Joshua is holding for you. Joshua, are you still there?
Yes, I'm there.
Thanks for calling. Go ahead, please.
I'm looking at this from appealing to labor. I think this will track the times. We know, in fact, even the minimum wage they are talking about now, if it is inflation is taking off.
It's not clear. I can hardly hear you, sir. I know you're calling from long distance. Having trouble hearing you. So sorry. We had to cut that line off. Yes, Nima.
So Labour should take this beyond just demanding. Labour should take this holistically. Nigeria has been borrowing to pay salaries forever. If Labour is demanding that, government put in the right policies, then we'll walk you up behind them. But governors are saying, we'll keep borrowing to pay salaries, and Labour is saying, go ahead and borrow. What will be the total outcome at the end of the day? We are indebted to countries. We had to get, a debt waiver under Obasanjo about 20 years ago. We're back there if we are looking, and that's what I expect Labour to do. Labour should be constantly, beyond 5 years, every 5 years, asking for the laws to be amended. Be sitting down and looking at companies growing and trying to also contribute to growing the GDP.
Okay, so I don't really understand what... Is it Labour's job to do that? Isn't that the Ministry of Employment and Labour that is meant to do that? I think NLC is meant to make sure that, workers are properly
remunerated.
Yes, that is their job. Yes. So the job of making sure that the economy is growing,
it's not their job,
that's not their job. So what I'm saying...
Let me just inform. They're a pressure group, and that's beyond their job. Their job is beyond demanding. Their job also includes that, workers' welfare demands are upright. And you don't expect companies to close today and not demand that workers, of course, workers' welfare will fail.
So we are saying the same thing. So they're doing their job.
No, they're not just
the ministry should...
They're not doing enough. That's what she's saying. They're not doing enough, yeah.
So I'm just saying that the ministry should tell us, this is what we have done. These are the plans that we have made. This is a 5-year plan, the 10-year plan, and this is how much we hope that the economy will be able to generate. Yes, that's Labour. And then when you sit down with that sort of information with NLC, I am very sure that the conversation would be different.
Let me take this call let me take this call from Yakub. Are you still there?
Yes, I am.
Thanks for calling. Morning. Go ahead, please.
Thank you very much. I think I agree with this panel this morning, and then including you as well. Because putting pressure on the federal government every time, I don't think it's going to do us anything. Because that's why we have states and then we have federal government. Some of the states, the kind of states they have is too many. And then, let me give you a simple example here. Morayo, this labor of exchange, I don't think they get their priority right. Why am I saying that? You are negotiating for just 30,000 naira increment as a minimum wage. You did not put a pressure on the federal government and state, including that the security force that you are getting, how do you spend this security force? No, never was never so. And then you are bargaining for 30,000 naira as a minimum wage, where the federal government also closes down borders. And then they will not make sure that the right of the thing, the local rights made, is a matter for us to be access to as a 10,000 naira, 8,000 naira. When you are not bargaining for 30,000 naira, if you take this same 30,000 naira to market today, they are going to get local rights at of 18,000 naira and 18,000 naira. How much to me? You transport yourself to the work, you come back, you pay your students school fee. How do you going to manage that money? And then you start to compare million money coordinators debt. We are not saying anything about that. They are bargaining for that. A lot of things for labor to do. They are supposed to put pressure on federal government and the state government. They will not do that. I don't understand them.
Thank you very much.
Where was Labour when we were paying subsidy and they were not, and people were not supplying the fuel? Where was Labour when government was diverting our monies for and corruption was flying high? Why are we demanding this today when we've not even done enough to check all the excesses that we ought to check? This is a pressure group, and their job is beyond demanding 5 years increment of the minimum wage.
Okay. So Nima, you know that people are saying that this is more like we have been scammed once again. You know, the typical Nigerian believes this is a scam because this was promised just before the elections and everybody had agreed. The governors have said we cannot pay. At the end of the day, they had the tripartite committee. They talked about it. They now finalized that they were going to pay just before the elections. And now the elections are over and they are going back to start having new committees set up to still discuss what they had promised, that they had settled that they were going to pay.
Before the elections, they had agreed on the 1 to 6. But I think, was that 7 to 17 that they were having meetings and committees on? But let me take this call. I'll come back to you, Olatule. Ooh. Let me let you finish.
I feel that the government knows what they are doing. I feel that they know what they are doing.
You're the average Nigerian. You don't trust. You are very cynical.
I'm an average Nigerian.
I can see that. You're the
Yes,
Nigerian.
we don't
trust
see
the
that
system.
they
I can see
have that integrity to say they are going to do something concerning us and actually do it. But when it comes to them, you see the bills are passed, the monies will appear immediately.
We'll continue to have this conversation if the government themselves don't begin to tighten their own belts.
Yes.
Maybe because these conversations always go back to that same issue.
Yeah.
Revenue.
Let us see you tighten your belt. Let us see you reduce your own costs. And then maybe we can begin to, because the truth is that whether we like it or not.
An easier conversation.
Yes.
If we come tomorrow, if the minister comes and says, this is what we have done concerning the budget for the National Assembly, the executives, you know, and everything. And this is what we're asking Nigerians to do for 5 years. You'll be surprised the sort of support that we would get. And I do not know why we don't think that way.
Oh, wait, let me take Emeka. Emeka has been holding for a while. Emeka, are you there?
Yes, I'm there. Good morning.
Good morning. Thanks for calling. Go ahead, please.
I'm a first-time caller.
Welcome to the show.
Can I speak broken?
Can you what?
Can I speak broken?
Please, go ahead. It's your view. Let it count.
Thank you very much. On this program, I beg. Now, what thing these people want, we do.
Ask them.
Then they increase tariff. Then they increase VAT. At the same time, they want lay off workers.
Even so.
They don't know the effect of laying off workers. They don't know. Let me tell you one. One, they say the rate of suicide will increase.
Yes, so my brother.
Two, crime will increase.
Crime, definitely.
My holy book says my people perish for lack of knowledge. Me, I don't know what they want to do, but all I know to say, the God will deserve, they our side.
Emeka, let me try to, I want you on the phone because I'd like Nima to also respond. Let me try to speak the pidgin. You know, let me respond in that way. The thing be say,
oh my God.
okay, Nima, go ahead.
You gave up so fast.
You correct. The truth be say, NLC, from time they should have been doing, should I go?
PG.
NLC is supposed to don't check all the things where government they do from time. NLC work beyond 5 years. So NLC is supposed to make sure, say, companies where they operate for Nigeria, they pay Nigerian workers the correct money. NLC is supposed to they picket companies where we say that they treat Nigerian workers badly. But what NLC they do know, when we they investigate subsidy payment, NLC no talk. They leave government. When government don't prosecute finish, NLC never wake up to talk all those ones. Money they go out every day through basket, just they leak, they throw away. But NLC go come every day, they don't care. They go, all they have to say, senators, they carry bogus money go out. So all of us who say senators, we should even protest that one. All of us supposed to queue, they do that one again.
But nothing again.
But then every 5 years, we're asking for increment.
To do so, the thing be say, people, we were saying that, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do it.
All right. Do it, you can do it.
The thing be say, they say that, you know what? We're trying to say that you must understand that there must be sacrifices on all parts.
Yes.
We as we they sacrifice, government too go they sacrifice. But why we don't want sacrifice first? That's the problem because the government don't agree. No, hang in there. Government don't agree that between level 1 and 6, they would accept the 30,000. The problem where they have is like between that 7 and 17, where are the workers in that range? Where they don't want sacrifice and accept the 9% increment? That's my problem.
Mariah, Emeka, you there?
Continue.
You know, waiting with the talk now, be say leadership supposed be by example. You go show me where me go follow. So if you say you don't sacrifice, me go follow you. I go sacrifice, join you. But not be say you go sit down there for your comfortable zone. They give me order for what I want to do. You not ready to let mosquito bite you at all. You not go work now. Nigeria now for everybody.
Okay, Maria, I'm going to try.
No. You know, by all this, just that sacrifice, show us that you have sacrificed on your part, and we will sacrifice. Emeka, you get me? I flow.
On that note, I think we're done with this conversation. We just really hope that Labour and the federal government finally agree, because the truth is that they've told us they have 3 more months. And by 3 months, they have to actually have a minimum wage. So hopefully they resolve this issue by that, and we can have proper remuneration for especially those working below the 6th level. Let's go on a break now. It's Tuesday. We can't but talk about something relating to health, and we'll discuss posture. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Yeah.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Thanks for staying with us. So report has it that cell phone use can double or triple the weight of one's head and neck, especially on the strain on your neck. In addition, poor posture while sitting, standing, walking, or in a static position can lead to upper body pain and stiffness. Join us on the show to enlighten us on this and how to maintain a good posture is a physiotherapist, Jennifer Eze. Welcome to the show, Dr. Jennifer Eze. Welcome to the show, madam.
Thank you very much.
You can call us on 07080668014. You can also tweet to us at TVC Connect. Please hashtag YourVTVC so we can read your tweet. One of the things that led us to this issue of posture was the use of our phones. The fact that there was a report that said that our head weighs so much, such that each time you bend to use the phone, you're actually affecting your spine. Please tell us about that.
Well, when you use there's a proper way to position your phone, cell phones, when you use it, and that is at face level. You know, just a few cm away from your face.
Example.
So you hold your smartphones
like
or
this?
your whatever your tab, you hold it upright so that your chin is level with the floor and is on eye level.
Right.
This is the proper alignment of the spine. It keeps the spine in the proper alignment because once the forward head position is attained, that is what will lead to the pain, stiffness, joint stiffness along the neck and all that. So
Please, this is a lot of work. Because I'm
telling you.
holding
Yes.
this now, and wait, so the hand will be hurting. I'm going to be doing a lot of work. I do most of my work on my phone. So how do I sustain this posture when I have work to do for hours?
that comes to your workstation.
Okay.
You have to have chairs that give you an armrest. So your arms are about 90 degrees. You're resting your arms and you're holding your phone or your tab or whatever it is that you're using like that. It's a lot of work. It has to do with discipline. You have to be conscious of your position at every point in time. So awareness is important. Teaching people, telling them what to do, telling them how to, educating them on the proper way to position themselves when they're using their smartphones or gadgets.
So let's talk about sitting posture because I have been having pains on this side of the neck recently, and at home I hardly do my phone like this. I lie down too. So once I'm not in my lying position, I don't respond to messages. They could pile up forever. That's their business. Once I'm about to respond to them, I'll be on face down, put a pillow to hold my chin up. But recently I've started having pains on the neck, and I wondered how. I worry about sitting for long because I have to drive long hours, so I have a pillow in the car to help me sit with my back straight, yet I developed that pain. So how did I come about that?
Okay, first of all, the position you assume at home when you're lying down and you're raising your head to work on your phone, you're working against gravity. So your neck muscles are constantly against the force of gravity, which is not helping your neck at all.
Wow.
Then in sitting position, you have to sit with your back, at least your back against the backrest of whatever it is. Then the lower back, there has to be this, there's a curve in the spine in the lower back. That space has to be maintained. If your chair does not provide that, you can have a lumbar roll or a pillow or even a towel rolled up, placed there to maintain that position. What you're doing is very correct. Yes, what you're doing is very right in putting that to maintain that position.
This is our reality.
Yes.
Phone use is our reality.
Yes.
There's nothing we can do. I mean, that's computer, everything. So my question is, with this reality, what are the things that we can incorporate so that it's not uncomfortable to use it because we're trying to maintain our posture? But, you know, are there gadgets, are there that are being sold that we can use instead to help us use this while making sure that we're using the right posture?
Well, one of the things the major thing with that is education. It's awareness. This position is going to hurt you on the long run. If you have that awareness, if you're conscious of that, I think it will help you to...
When you say it will help, it will be a problem in the long run, what does that mean? Is that I'll have a hunchback, or what exactly? Because, listen, this life is not difficult. Don't complicate life for us, because you grow old, you bend.
You will
It's
still die at the end of the day.
So what is the problem?
Yes, but there are old people who have good postures.
Yes.
And it starts with when they are young. Because of our gadgets these days, people keep...
Yeah,
you know, that's bad for your health. So you have to keep your head up. Like I said, the most important thing is awareness. And there are some straps that people wear these days under their clothes. So you strap it on and it helps you maintain that chest forward, head forward position. You know, so things like that can remind you of what you're supposed to do.
You know, I like this. I know this about reminding you, because I have a slight curvature in my spine. Scoliosis is what it's called, and I realized when I was a teenager. So because of it, my mom had always taught me to try and sit up. Of course, I don't do it all the time, but as you said, it's at the back of my mind. So sometimes I catch myself slouching. I sit up, you know, I try and when I walk as well. But that's because I already have an issue with my back, so it makes me...
You see, and that is what I was saying earlier about awareness. Because you have been told about it, because you had that condition and you're made aware of your position, so it's at the back of your mind. When you slouch, you correct yourself.
So me, anytime I wake up, my neck is spinning me. My neck always hurts me when I wake up in the mornings. And sometimes, I don't know, probably because I know I have a long neck, probably because I don't know how to use my pillows very well, but then the pains go severe from the neck to the shoulder. And I'm wondering, is there any particular way that we can sleep so that we avoid such pains?
Oh, definitely, there is. Many people use their pillows wrongly. They lie on their pillows and they put their shoulders on the pillow. Your shoulder is not supposed to be on the pillow. The pillow is supposed to be supporting your head and neck.
That means I've been sleeping right all my life.
Yeah,
you know, so when you sit on when you lie on your side, the pillow is like that, supporting your head and neck. So the spine is in the proper position, proper alignment.
Must you lie with the pillows? Must you? Because I've been advised not to lie with my pillows.
No, because if you don't lie with the pillow, your head is
down.
Yes, it's hanging. There's a space there that will strain the other side that you're not
question,
supporting.
what's the best lying position? On the side, or face down or face up? What's the best way to lie?
Well, it depends on the way you support yourself. And you will say support yourself, I'm asleep, so how can I support myself? Lying on the side is actually good. If you do not have any issues with arthritis of the hip joints or any surgeries, some people have surgeries, so lying on the side can be a bit painful. But lying on the side and supporting putting a pillow in between the legs.
I like that position.
Pregnant women will understand that it's a very comfortable position. If you lie on your back, you also have to maintain that proper joint spine alignment by supporting yourself with a pillow underneath your knees. Yes. Lying on your stomach is not advised. Yes, it's the least common. Yes, a lot of people do that. But it's the least because it strains the back and the neck. So when you lie face down, how do you position your neck?
I don't even know. I just keep it anyway.
So you position your neck on this side and it's putting a strain on the other side.
Since I'm just loving this woman. You know, so lying face down is religiously forbidden for Muslims. Yes, and I'm just finding out it's medical. So I wanted to ask, what's the implication of a post-surgery? Because, you know, most of the times when we have surgeries, they give you the spinal, whatever, to anesthetics. And then suddenly, after a while, you just start to develop some problems. What's the implication? Is it kind of related to back pains?
Yes. I have had quite a number of patients who have had back pain after that procedure. Well, what we advise is that you keep fit. This will help in reducing the incidence of, you know, strengthening for the core muscles, for the back muscles, flexion exercises to maintain range of motion. Okay, range of motion exercises are exercises that will help maintain the proper range of motion around the spine and the hip, the pelvic area. So yes, exactly. All those things help in keeping the integrity of the muscles and also the spine.
You know, talking about fitness, I do taekwondo not as often as I would like to anymore. But because of the issue I told you I have, I noticed that taekwondo helped me because we do a lot of stretches and things like that. So I understand the power of having a firm core and then it sort of holds you up. But I don't think a lot of people understand to what degree exercise would help us. Maybe, yes, so maybe like people like Nima that don't believe in exercise at all.
Oh, exercise is excellent for you. Exercise is excellent for you. The core muscles are the muscles of the trunk, the abdominal muscles, and the back muscles. These are the muscles that help you stand upright. They are the anti-gravity muscles, as well as muscles of the legs. But the core is very important in maintaining proper posture. So once you strengthen those muscles, they are flexible, they are strong, and they will help keep you up.
How do you strengthen the muscles? What exercises? What exercises?
Okay,
there are housework exercises.
No,
give me like two.
Housework is an exercise. There's the crunches.
Crunches.
Yes, so you lie on your back, but the crunches you have to be careful when you're doing them because some people have low back pain.
From exercise.
Yes. So you modifications. You lie on your back, bend your both knees, and both feet are flat on the floor. Where you bend both knees, your hands are behind your head. Then you lift your shoulders.
Sit up.
Lift your head and shoulders alone off the floor. So you do that.
I don't do those things. I wish there was a way we can actually show this. So it's better than talking about it. But I have to ask you a question before we go on a break. Because my husband calls me a robot because I have metals all over my body. I have a 6-inch rod. I have like logs. I have metals on my ankle, on my hip. I have nails. I have screws all over my right leg. Now, the problem is that my doctor in the US told me not to use drugs because I can get addicted. So I actually go through excruciating pain, especially when the weather is cold. My body's so used to the pain. But one thing I find hard is sleeping, especially when the weather is cool or when the pillows are just not right. You know, sometimes you have guests in the house, just give the guest your pillow. Now, for someone like me that have surgery issues, what's the best way to, because I get lots of pains and my body's kind of just used to the pain. I mean, pain is now normal for me. But is that right, number one? And number two, what can I do to sleep better?
Is it right to get used to the pain? No.
It's not right.
It's not right.
Okay.
Yes, you have to, your body will react to it at the end of the day because your pain is like a defense mechanism. It's telling you something is wrong, correct it. Okay. Then the issue of how you can get over the pain, how you can sleep. That's what physiotherapists do. They use different methods, techniques, modalities. One of them is heat. Another one is soft tissue manipulation, that's massage, that people are aware of. So all those things. And then, like I said earlier, strengthening exercises that will also help to strengthen the core muscles of those areas that will help to hold you up, to relieve or to completely remove any pain that you're feeling. So, and then when the weather is cold, you have to keep warm. Keeping warm will also help you in relieving that.
Let's talk about the kind of load, because, you know, we're Africans and people think carrying things on their head.
Ask another question when we come back. We'll be right back. Stay with us. Don't go anywhere.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Thanks for staying with us. All right, Nima had a question for you.
Yes, so you know, as Africans, what's common is you see women, jackets, carry it, alabaru kind of work, and people do this a lot. In their old age, because I am trying to understand how women in their old age develop bent back, wrong posture, and all sorts of things. I'm trying to link it to maybe the kind of alabaru work they did while in their age. Because I use my life to train my child, but now mama is bent all over. Do you understand? How is it linked?
Of course, your work is one of the risk factors of bad posture, poor posture, and the repercussions. So, like the alabaru that you talked about, she always has to do it. And there are proper lifting techniques. You don't lift from using your back, it's from your knees. So you bend your knees and use the thigh muscles to lift yourself up.
I don't understand. Can you go back?
Yes.
Yeah,
You bend. I have to actually demonstrate
demonstrate.
it. Yes. So you're not bending your back. You're squatting. You know, like the way women curtsy.
Okay,
So you squat, lift it. Your back is straight all the time. You're not slouching or doing it.
You because sometimes they have to jack
I have
it.
this call from Dublin. Success. Are you there? Hello, Success. We're here already. Are you there? She's listening to the TV.
Yeah. Okay. There's I have this problem of I start sleeping on this position.
Yes.
And I've done like 100 positions before I wake up. Like it was so bad growing up that people don't like to sleep on the same bed, share the same bed with me because I'll kick you out of the bed. Yeah. And so now it's not as intense because now I'm a mother, I have to pay attention to I have babies around me. Yeah. But I still can't maintain one position. And sometimes when I wake up in the mornings, I am tired like I went to fight. Is there, why are you laughing? Is there anything I can do to help my situation?
It's same awareness. Awareness. Okay. When you are asleep, you are not conscious of your surroundings. Okay. So it's just, once you keep creating that awareness, oh, I have to take a proper position. When you're lying down and you turn, you don't sleep throughout.
So consciously, you know.
I think she's trying to look for a good position. That's why she keeps turning and tossing.
She doesn't even know that she's doing that.
Oh. Yeah.
So once, you know, sometimes when you turn for a moment, you're awake. So if you keep drumming it into your mind, consciousness, yes. So you would have to, yes.
I have to ask you, because for those of us that live in Lagos, I'm surprised Nima hasn't mentioned this. Traffic. You are in traffic for hours. Yes. So it's almost impossible for you to have a good posture in Lagos State. So you come back home, you just spend 4 or 5 hours in traffic. What can you do when you get home to either relax your muscles or to even make sure you don't go and die?
Okay, first of all, even in the traffic, there are things you can do.
Okay.
When you park, when there's so much traffic and you have to stop, when you stop, you do ankle pump exercises.
All right.
Just to move your feet.
Yes.
Do you learn physiotherapy? I do this.
You do this, okay.
So you do that, and then you make sure that you just roll out your shoulders from time to time.
Like this.
Right.
Yes, roll out your shoulders, your neck, like that. Just range of motion exercises for the areas that you can do.
Right.
Then make sure that you have that lumbar.
Yes. That also. So you can do 10 hours.
Okay, so
then when you get home, you do stretches.
Yeah.
You know, stretches, you bend, move back that way.
Okay, let me quickly take this call. He's been holding. Hello, are you there? Good morning.
Good morning.
Thanks for calling. Go ahead, please.
My question is, when I sleep on my left posture, I feel sick when I wake up.
Okay.
And I don't sleep very well. But when I sleep on my right, I used to sleep and snore. So they said that my wife even complained. Which one is the better one? Is left side or the right side?
Well, it's advised that it's better to sleep on the left side because the stomach is on the left side.
Okay.
And then when you lie that way, the internal organs are properly positioned, okay? Then you say that you feel pain when you lie on that side. I guess there are other things, other factors that have to be evaluated and checked to know exactly what is causing that pain. So I can't say, until then, I can't say this is what is causing.
Okay, my husband doesn't sleep well either, but there's a position he finds sometimes, which I find weird, but I've also seen with my mom. He would sleep and then put his leg on the wall.
That's
so it's like
winch. Winch.
So it's like a 90 degree. And my mom as well has, you know, she said she had to do that, and then that's when they're able to sleep. Is there any physiotherapy, please, apart from this witchy shit? Is there any
their feet are on the wall.
Yes.
Of course, they are supported.
Yes, supported.
Well, it helps in drainage.
Right.
So I guess that is that's the reason for that.
Yeah, lymphatic drainage.
This winch thing. I mean, was it Ayamatanga? Was it Ayamatanga?
No, it was the one of those. It wasn't Ayamatanga. It was Labion or something like that. Arometa. It was Arometa.
Yeah, when you do that, it's
a explanation thing.
We have to run up. Okay.
Please, I need to ask, what's the size of a normal pillow? Because we have this back and forth. Like I explained, the pillows I use has to be the one that will just rest here. So my husband finds this weird. I use in the whole house a separate set of pillow, small pillows. So we have this back and forth. That this is what
puffy
the pillow
ones
should be.
or the flat
puffy
ones?
or flat?
It should be in between.
Okay.
It shouldn't be flat, and it shouldn't be too puffy because your head will sink into the pillow, and then it will cancel the effect.
Someone has that puffy where just sink.
I don't know what they do. They just know the right.
I say you will enter
of softness and hardness.
As long as they just, maintains, there are some orthopedic pillows that have memory.
Yes.
So you put your head on it and it just supports the head and the neck.
We have to run off, but I have to ask you this last question.
Okay.
Cracking your neck. I mean, we do it a lot.
Yes,
is it right?
we do.
I don't know to do those things.
It provides, it provides some relief.
Okay.
But it's not entirely right to do it all the time.
Yeah, because I hear you're wearing out your bones.
The same thing. Those things are, if your fingers feel stiff, just move them.
Like this.
I'm already hearing the snap.
Sound.
Yeah.
Yes. So you don't have to force it.
Right.
It's not healthy to do that.
and it's sweet. It
Yeah,
gives
it's
me
very
one
interesting.
kind
I don't do that.
I like it.
I love it.
I know people like
do this a lot.
it, but it's not advised.
Oh, let's see happen.
I don't know where you learned
I wish
that.
my neck
telling
will not
you.
snap one day. God forbid. Please stop. Thank you so much, Doc, for coming.
You're welcome.
Thanks for
So
coming.
much. You've learned a lot.
Okay, tomorrow is our live audience show. Please come early so you can get a seat. Have a fabulous day. We'll see you then. Bye-bye.